it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, My Asexual Life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. So subscribe and hit the bell icon for more videos about asexual entertainment, education, information, and lifestyle. And we've got another chat show tonight, which is educational. And tonight we're going to be discussing what is the difference between love, sexual attraction, and romantic and aesthetic attraction. So, this is in the context of trying to find out how you feel about someone and how they feel about you when you're on the asexual dating scene, or when you come into contact with someone who maybe you want to be just friends with, and maybe it's not just friends they want, right? So you've got to be aware of these things, aware of the differences, so that you can make an informed choice or decision if that person's good for you to be connected to, in contact with, if they want a similar type of thing to you. And of course, no one knows actually, but the person themselves. But having said that, there's still signs of these things where you can determine which one they most likely do. So, if we take love first, right? Love, we're talking about love in the context of relationships, dating, and obviously there is love in terms of friendship. Now, I'm a romantic asexual, and there are quite a lot in the community who are non-romantic asexuals, known as aromantic asexuals or aromantic asexuals. So, you have to decide for yourself whether you personally want a romantic relationship or not. However, don't expect the people you come into contact with to have the same need as you. This goes for if you're a romantic person like I am. It doesn't mean to say that every person you meet's also going to want a romance with you, right? Some people might come into your life who are non-romantic. Some people might come into your life that are romantic. So regardless of where you're romantic or non-romantic, other people come into your life and you can't choose who comes into your life. You can't choose who loves you. This is a big thing if you've had any trauma in your past. You might have felt unloved, uncared for, and as a result, you may feel that you're unlovable or unworthy of love. And therefore, when someone does come into your life that loves you, you might be very ungrateful for that person. You might not realize how much they truly love and care about you. You might not acknowledge their love. You might not feel their love. You might have numbed yourself so much to the possibility of someone truly loving you because you think you're not worthy of love, that you then end up acting out like you're unworthy of love. So therefore it's hard for someone to actually love you. But it doesn't mean to say they can't. You can't change how someone feels about you. I had a discussion a few years ago with someone who I had feelings for, and I'm like, you can't stop me having this. Is a person who at that point in their life was feeling like they were unlovable, like they were unworthy of love. This is going back a few years. Obviously, I can't reveal who it is. Um, but at that point in their life, that's how they felt. And so I, at that point in my life, was quite attracted to them romantically. And at one point, there was a relationship considered, but that wasn't considered for that long. And anyway, so what happened is they were kind of like pushing me away, saying they don't feel worthy of love, they feel unlovable, they don't know how anyone can love them, and also they didn't want that. At that point in their life, they were, I would say, a lot more avoidant and closed off to caring about themselves, and probably not used to anyone genuinely loving them or having a care about them, which was loving, even if it's not full blown love, you know? So be very consciously aware, or come into conscious awareness of how things were for you in the past. Like, did you lack love at home with your caregivers, your family, your parents? Did you lack love in general growing up? How were your siblings, if you've got them? Were they nice to you, or were you rivals and competing for each other's space and stuff like that. So you need to be thinking about these things, because how you were treated in your childhood growing up is going to affect how you give and receive love in later life. And you've got to be aware there's both love, which is genuine and pure, and there's a toxic love as well, which isn't really love as such, because it's not very loving, right? But if you're trying to think about what would someone do or say if they loved you, if a person loves you, they will definitely not just want you for sex. They will want to communicate with you on a regular basis. If someone loves you, if someone loves you, they want to know how you're doing. They want to nurture your well-being. This is a healthy love, by the way. They want to care about you. They have a degree of feeling a bit responsible for your welfare, even though everyone's responsible for their own feelings, emotions, and welfare. If you love someone, you automatically have kind of a feeling like you want to care about their well-being, care about their safety, care about their health. You genuinely want them in life. You genuinely want them to be happy and to the best for them, and for their life to be progressed. You feel like their pain, if you're empathetic especially, their pain is like part of your pain, because you care about them, you're like linked to them. If you love them, you don't want to see them in pain. You don't want to see them upset. It upsets you if they're upset. And when you love someone, you want to make sure they're all right. You want to hear from them. You want to talk to them. You want to care about them. You want to communicate. You want to see how they're doing in their day, see how they're feeling, how life's going for them. You care about what's affecting them in their life. So you take a deep interest in them and their life, their thoughts, their feelings, emotions. If you healthily love someone. But there gets to a stage where you can't let that take over your life, as in you still need a life of your own, and you still need to regulate your own emotions, right? It's up to the person to try and regulate their own emotions. But if you love someone, you naturally care about how they think and how they feel, because they matter to you. Their life matters to you. Their well-being matters to you. Their health matters to you. And you can usually be there for someone at fairly short notice, or very short notice, if you truly love someone, because you might have a life of your own, but say something happened that's unforeseen. So I broke my ankle like last year and the year before, and my best friend, who loves me as dearly as a friend, was there for me. They were there when I actually broke it the second time. They went to the hospital with me, and they stayed overnight at the hospital, you know, to be with me. Uh, and they live miles away usually. So that is a friendship love. That's a true love thing when someone does that for you. I mean, my best friend, they come and do my food shopping sometimes for me. Sometimes they do cleaning. Like the other day, they cleaned my shower for me because I get mold built up on in the shower here, and the mold spray sets off my respiratory system, and it causes it problems. I didn't want that to happen when I got to speak at Oxford University this month. So I asked if they'd be okay to do that, because they've done it for me before and they were like fine about it, really good job of it. So that person who's my friend loves me in a deep friendship way, because they want to take care of my health and well-being. They don't expect anything back. They're not doing it to get something back. That's another thing. If someone truly loves you in a healthy way, they don't do something with expectation you're going to do something back. They don't do something and go, oh, well, you owe me one now. That's not true love, right? And true love is when you're happy for that person, and that person's happy for you to be happy doing your own thing as well. What's good for you. So even if they don't like going to the gym themselves, if you go to the gym, they'll be happy for you that you're going to the gym. If you've got a certain profession, even if they don't really like that profession, or they don't think much of it, they're not that interested in it, they'll be happy for you that you're doing a profession that you enjoy. They'll be happy that you're doing hobbies and interests. Healthy love, people will want you to see your friends and other people as well as them. But in healthy love situations, you would want to prioritize that person if you truly love someone, because they matter to you. They're part and parcel of the central part of your world. If you truly love someone on a deep fundamental level, truly love someone in a healthy way, you're like best friends with them. If you study online people that have got great marriages and that are really happy, it's usually because they've married their best friend. I personally don't agree with marriage, but I do agree that if you're in a relationship, it should be with someone who's your best friend. That doesn't mean to say you can't have other best friends, but it does mean to say that person should be a best friend to you. I have a best friend that's non-romantic with me. So I need to find a guy who will be my bestest ever friend in a relationship. And that's what I truly want. Love is about talking through problems as well. Healthy love is when you need to talk through problems. You need to face issues. Healthy love is when you're willing to both say sorry to each other and you do both say sorry. And it's not a chore saying sorry. It's like you really want to say sorry to make things right, to ease the relationship, to make things better. You shouldn't have to beg or ask for someone to say sorry if they hurt your feelings. If it's true love, they won't want to hurt your feelings. If it's true love, they'll have your best interests at heart if it's healthy love. If it's not healthy love, then they won't. They'll have their own best interests at heart. They'll be doing something for their benefit to get something out of you, and that's their ulterior motive. So be very careful about that. So if someone truly loves you, they'll care about your health, well-being, welfare. In general, when they're with you, you'll feel a sense of protection, a sense of cared forness, a sense of belonging, a sense of unity, a sense of teamwork. You'll both be listening to each other actively. You'll be able to recite back what each other said because you care about that person. So you're actively listening, not passive. And you'll be able to share difficulties and problems and secrets with each other. And be able to do that with a degree of not feeling fear as you do it. If you've had past childhood trauma, you might feel some fear anyway. But they shouldn't be flaring up or getting angry every time you speak your truth. That doesn't mean to say they have to agree with you, though. Right? You need to understand that just because you love someone doesn't mean to say you're going to agree with them all the time or they're going to agree with you. It's not how healthy love works. And in order to have a healthy love and actually flourish it into a blooming relationship, you need to have the same values in life, the same life goals. So if we're taking it from the stage of feeling love to actually being in a relationship with love, you both have to have the same values, like similar morals, ethics, and beliefs for it to work well and be healthy and feel good. It's no good if you're with someone who's abusive towards animals, for example, and you love animals. I hate animal abuse as it is, but I'm just giving that as an example. You wouldn't want to be with someone who likes something that you hate so much because you're just going to end up resenting that person. That's not love. You can love someone regardless of the fact of what they do or say, but in order to have a healthy type of love and foster it into a healthy relationship, you really need to be on the same page on some stuff. Like me and my best friend, which is non-romantic situation, but it's a very loving friendship. They are different to me in the sense they love going walking. They can go up to 20 miles walk a day. They go all around the UK doing that, and that's great and it's good for them. And I fully support them in that. It's what they need to do for their own mental health and physical health. I personally am not interested in doing that. But that is something that doesn't affect my values. In fact, it kind of like fits in with one of my values, even though I don't personally value like me, for example, going on a 20-mile walk because it wouldn't be beneficial. I couldn't do that amount of walking and be okay. I've got health needs, but What I'm trying to say is some people can have things they do in their everyday life and you can still love them and have healthy love relationship with them. This could be a friendship, as in I'm talking about now, so long as that thing they do, you can actually genuinely support them on, genuinely love them on, genuinely care for them, genuinely appreciate. So if it's a thing they do that doesn't affect you, like my best friend goes walking, that's healthy for them. I'm happy for them. I fully support it and fully encourage them. I personally don't do that. It's not suitable for me. But that is something that's a value that they've got, which I appreciate that value. That value works in our friendship because it makes them feel so good. I encourage them. I know it's the best thing for them. So you've got to ask yourself, if someone does express love feelings towards you, whether it's friendship or more, if the connection's still good for you. Because if they're doing something that you don't like or agree with, that you think's really bad and it conflicts with your morals, then it's going to be trouble. It's just going to be a rocky road and end up being toxic. So bear that in mind. Right. So we've gone through like love. Toxic love would be controlling you, controlling who you see. Obviously, in a relationship, you need to be putting time aside for the person you're in a relationship with. You can't just say, "Oh, you come into my life, but I'm not even going to see you. I'm just going to send you a few texts." That doesn't work like that. So if you have got your life planned out already, where you go to the gym like 5 days a week, say, and then you see your friends like 5 days a week, and then you see your parents like 2 days a week, and then like you have time to yourself. Like, so if you've got something planned on every single day and you've got no space to fit someone in, that's going to be toxic for them. That's going to be a toxic relationship. So you have to make some space for them. It's quite necessary for you to make some space in your life, right? But what you don't want is someone coming in completely taking over your life and expecting you to spend all your days and evenings with them, right? You should still be going to the gym if you love going to the gym. You should see them before or after the gym, right? You should still be seeing your friends. But obviously, if you are seeing your friends like 5 days a week, you're seeing your parents twice a week. That's 7 days. That leaves nothing for the new person. So you have to be able to give up some of that time that you would probably see your friends like 3 days a week and see your loved one twice a week, or see your loved one 3 times a week and your friends twice a week and your parents twice a week. So you've got a priority, you've got an extra day for your partner, but you need some time for yourself as well, really. So you could take a day for yourself, 2 days for your partner, 2 days for family, 2 days for friends. I mean, some partners want more time than that, but your whole life shouldn't be taken over by spending every day with your partner and doing nothing else. That's just unhealthy and controlling. It's not controlling if someone wants you to make them a priority and to spend some quality time with them and to spend a bit more time probably with them than you would anyone else. But it is controlling if they're saying, hang on a minute, and stopping you from seeing your friends and family. But obviously, if you're already seeing your friends and family 7 days a week, then you've got to change something yourself. That's just normal need. So people have needs in relationships. So you've got to work out if the needs are compatible. So toxic love would be very controlling, very manipulative. They'd be telling you who to see, what to do, what to wear, where to go, when to go. They'd be like discouraging you from your hobbies and interests, discouraging you from your career. And if someone doesn't love you, so say someone's attracted to you, but they don't love you. If someone's attracted to you, but they don't love you, they will not care about your well-being on a day-to-day basis. They probably won't message asking you how they are, how you are, sorry. And if they do message, it'll be probably infrequent. It won't be persistently and consistently. It'll be all over the place. There'll be no like structure to it, no security there. Do you understand what I mean? So when something's like all over the place like that, it feels like it's chaos. If you get the feeling of chaos with the amount of messaging and communication someone does, if you're the only one that's predominantly pushing the connection forward, if you're the one that's messaging the most, then it's likely that the other person doesn't love you. If a person loves you, they'll show it. They'll be messaging you, they'll be communicating with you, they'll be wanting to see you and spend time with you. They'll be arranging that. If they're not arranging that, if you're feeling like you have to push it, or maybe they've suggested it, but they don't actually bring it to fruition, they don't put it into action, then it's kind of like, oh, you're a nice person. I'd like to do this with you, but it's no big deal, right? When someone loves you, seeing you is a big deal. They want you in their life. They want to see you. They want to spend time with you. If someone's just attracted to you, but they don't love you, they don't value your welfare in the same way. It's not that important to them. So say someone is sexually attracted to you. One of the big signs that someone's more sexually attracted to you than anything else, than love, is the fact that they will purposely connect with you over physical stuff. This could be as simple as liking a social media post of you in an outfit that you might look quite sexy in, figure hugging outfit, something that shows your cleavage off more, something that shows your chest or body off more. If they are reacting on your social media to stuff like that, but they're not actually messaging you, asking you how you are, and caring about you, that means they're sexually attracted to you, because they're liking your body parts basically. So they're not liking you for your personality. They might like your personality, but they're not liking it that much because they're not that bothered about it, whereas they're really aware and expressing some sort of like over your body. So when the amount of communication and connection with that person is more geared around your body and what you look like than you as a person, they don't love you, that it's attraction. And if a person doesn't want to hold hands with you in front of other people or kiss you in front of other people, that's attraction, because they don't want their mates to see. They don't want people who know them to see. So they're not serious about you. They don't want a serious relationship with you. They're just attracted to you. A guy who's attracted will just they won't value your worth as a person. You'll feel like you're just kind of like a piece of meat, or you're just maybe a trophy, or you're just maybe a beautiful picture to them. You'll feel like, oh, it's nice they like my looks, but is that it? And there'll be a sense of like longing for that person to like you back in the same way if you like them more than sexual attraction. Obviously, if you're asexual and you're pure asexual, you don't experience any sexual attraction at all. That can be quite hard, because they're valuing you for your body and they're focusing on that and your body parts. Whereas you are like, oh, I feel this love for them, or I feel these love feelings, or I feel this attraction and I'm drawn to them. I want to get to know them more, to get to their personality more, to get to know their hobbies and interests more, to get to know them more. Because when you're asexual, you tend to want to know these things about someone. Whereas if you're a heterosexual, for example, who's just sexually attracted, you don't need to know all these things. All you need to know is the chemistry between you both and the feeling that you feel. And you'll pay more attention to that. And you won't see a life and a future with this person. You'll just see a temporary attraction thing, a physical thing with them. That's all you'll see. If you truly love someone, you see this person in your future, you want them in your future, you will plan things together for the future, you'll have stuff on the calendar, you'll be talking about different times of years that you're going to do some stuff together. You'll be talking as if they're going to be in life for a very long time. When you truly love and care about someone. When you don't love someone, you're just attracted to them. You don't think of a future with them. Usually, you don't. When you've just got basic level of attraction. So, someone's sexually attracted to me, a guy, but that's all it is. He's not interested in settling down with me. He's already got plans to have a wife and kids, for example, in the future, right? If he's already planned to have a wife and kids, unless for some odd reason or out of the blue reason he happens to get emotionally connected with me and happens to start properly loving me, which is going to be very rare. If the guy's fixated on having a wife and kids and he knows I don't want marriage and kids, he isn't going to be interested in anything else really for physical stuff with me. That is a sad thing. He's not, because there's nothing in it for him long term, because he doesn't see a long term thing there with me. Do you get my meaning? So someone who's sexually attracted will think about kissing, they'll think about having sex with you, they'll think about your breasts and your genitalia, they'll think about your bum, they'll think about touching your body, they'll think about stroking your body. They'll be very fixated. They might like to chat to you a bit in the lead up to meeting up with you to kiss or to get physical. They'll be liking your posts, which is to do with the looks. They'll be very focused on that. So always pay attention to that. Of course, you could get someone who's secretly sexually attracted to you and doesn't want to show it as much, but you'll probably get the feeling when you talk to them that it's sexual attraction because they'll be more vacant in terms of their mind and the way they see you. If you're talking about stuff that's really dear to you, they'll probably be more absent, like minded, or like their mind is somewhere else. But when they're looking at you physically, they'll be present with you and they'll be smiling and they'll kind of like look at your body more. You'll kind of sense that, but they won't care about you as a person. So they'll be looking more around the room, thinking like, who can I next talk to? If you're in a room full of people, if you're on your own, they'll lose interest. They'll look at their watch. They'll be looking at elsewhere. If you don't want something physical, and that's what they want, sexual attraction. They feel sexual attraction, so they want sexual attraction to lead them to sex, basically. And someone who doesn't really care about you, is not loving you, they will not care about if they leave you. They will not care if they walk out on you. They will not care about not keeping in touch with you. You'll just be a number to them, sadly. So if you are a romantic asexual and you're someone who experiences aesthetic attraction, but the other person is sexually attracted to you, this was when it becomes really difficult, because if you're aesthetically attracted to someone and they're sexually attracted to you, you are looking at their face, usually their facial features. You might like their body type, you might like their chest and stuff, but you are aesthetically attracted to them, so you might want to get physically close to them because you like the look of them. But without the sexual attraction, you usually won't think, oh, I want sex with this person. They are looking at you as a sexual object, basically, and thinking, I want sex with that person, right? They're looking at you and thinking, I want sex with you. Obviously, if you're in a relationship already, then they might not be looking at you as a sex object. But say you met someone in a club, right? I met a guy in a club. I actually do this. And a guy's sexually attracted to me, and I'm aesthetically and romantically attracted to him. It's different. The guy is looking at me in a sexual way. They're looking at my body. They want to touch my body. They want to touch my bum. They want to try and touch my breasts. They want to touch the sides of me. They want to feel me. And they want to do whatever it is to be physically close to me. But that's because they're sexually attracted to me. They're horny and they need that specific stimuli. Whereas if I'm aesthetic and romantic attracted to a guy, I'm thinking aesthetically, God, his face is really beautiful. I'd love to put my fingers through his hair. I'd love to kiss him and cuddle him. It's more softer. It's more gentle feeling. It's more acute and cuddly feeling, right? It's more of a teenager style beginning of a relationship dating scenario, right? Whereas theirs is more of a older, like, I just want to hook up with you type thing. Like, they're different energies. Aesthetic and romantic is more soft and cute and cuddly, or at least it is the way I see it. But sexual attraction is more harsh, it's more in your face, it's more pouncy. Even the energy, they don't have to be pouncing on you. You can just feel it's different. They're like, and you're like, Do you know what I mean? It's different. It's like this person is sexually attracted to you, this person is aesthetically and romantic. So this is kind of cute, cuddly, mwah, 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 oh, lovely. The sexual attraction is more like, quick, I want, I want to have sex. I really like you. Oh, I'll grab you. You know what I mean? That's kind of the energy. It's different types of energy. It's a feeling of kind of more tenseness and pounciness. But it's hard when I have strong aesthetic and romantic attraction, because I feel like I just want to snog the guy's face off, whereas he's saying, I really want to touch your body and I want any physicality to lead to sex. I don't even think about sex, but he is. If I'm just aesthetic attracted to a guy, but without the romance, then it's more like I could just kiss him and not really be affected, not really get any attachment there. And, there's no kind of long-term effects as much. But when there's romance combined with aesthetic attraction, that's when you start feeling like, oh, with this and and kind of fantasizing or thinking ahead, like, would this person be suitable for a relationship with me? Can I see myself walking on the beach with this person? Can I see myself under the moonlit sky with this person? Can I see myself holding hands in the future with this person? Like, and your probably mind will wander off onto all these romantic scenarios. Like, what if you did go out for a meal together and kiss and cuddle? What if you were doing this together? And it'll play different romantic scenarios. Whereas a guy who is, for example, who's sexually attracted to you will just want to snog, have some physical stuff, and may enjoy your company at the time, but it's no big deal to them. They don't need to see you afterwards. They don't need to be in contact with you. Maybe they'd like to keep in contact with you for sexual contact in the future, but there's no feeling or care really for your well-being that much. It depends on the type of guy. Obviously, some guys that are nice guys might have a genuine care about them for you, but in my experience, there's not that much care there. It's more about the person in the moment at the time if they're sexually attracted to you. And, and that's all it is. I'm not talking about sexual attraction with love, romance, and aesthetics. I'm talking sexual attraction versus love, sexual attraction versus aesthetic and romantic attraction. Obviously, if you have someone who loves you and they have sexual attraction, aesthetic, and romantic attraction, wow, that could be a great combination, apart from if you're a sex repulsed asexual and don't want sex and they do. But if you have all of those four combined, it's very powerful. They'll want to be in your life. They'll want to talk to you. They'll be wanting to do cute and cuddly stuff with you, not just wanting the sex stuff. So you have to look out for that. Romantic attraction is when you do like want to do romantic things. You want to hold their hand. You want to feel them. Obviously, there's sensual attraction as well, which is not to be confused with sexual. So sensual means you like to feel the person, feel their shoulders, feel their arms, even like holding hands, fingers intertwined can be sensual. You feel like you're at one with the person physically, and it gives you a nice tender touch. Right. But if someone's sexually attracted to you and they're sexually touching you, all the touching is to specifically make you aroused, to lead to sex usually. So when you're sensually attracted, you are enjoying the skin, you're enjoying the sensation when you're sensually attracted. But when you're sexually attracted to someone, it's more like I don't know how to describe it, more like a stinging feeling, more like um, I've got to have this person, more like a dog on heat type thing. Whereas sensual is more like soothing and massaging. Sexual is more like tense. I see it like, it's more like tense and hyper. Like I'm just, I want this to lead up to something. It's like a big build up. It's like a hyper thing. Whereas sensual is more like soft, gentle, relaxing energy, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? So I find it difficult because I get really aesthetically attracted to some guys. I get really romantically attracted to some guys, and all their attraction for me is just based on sexual attraction pretty much. It's like, oh, I could take it or leave it. They don't need to speak to me. They don't care about my welfare and well-being. They're out chatting to whoever they're chatting, or they're not that bothered about relationship or people anyway. They're just like got attraction for me in that moment, and it'd be nice to meet, to hook up type thing for more attraction. A person who genuinely loves me, they want to know how I'm doing. They take a deep interest in that. They want to sort any issues and problems out. So you got to be aware of all these types of attractions. I think it's very difficult. For me, it's hard because I like younger foreign guys. And the one guy, for example, the 23-year-old that went back to India this year, it was like really weird when he turned around and said that he does want a wife and kids, like a family in the future. And I like, to me, the way he comes across is really laid back and freedom guy. And I'm like, why would you want that type of lifestyle? It quite shocked me because he's quite, like, admittedly lazy in comparison to me. Like, with me wanting to do stuff all the time, he just wants an easy life. But I suppose in India, it's like quite easy for the guys in the sense that if they expect the wife to do everything and look after the kids, all they got to do is is basically go to work and then go home, not and have sex, I guess. And the wife does all the cooking, clean, looks after the kids. Like, I'm not surprised that loads of Indian guys want marriage because I think it means that they can be a bit lazy, if you know what I mean. That's my personal opinion. I'm hoping that not all Indian guys are like that and they share responsibilities of household tasks and upbringing of kids and can say sorry to their wives and care about their wives and, be apologetic and when necessary and needed and be loving and giving and sharing. I have got a friend who's Indian, an asexual friend, and she's married and he's her soulmate. I'm so happy for her. I wasn't sure about him at first, but he seems to make her really happy. So I'm really glad about that. She clearly loves him dearly and she's aromantic, she lacks romantic attraction and agender as well, non-binary. So yeah, it's really good. But she's very beautiful for an Indian female. I'm not into females, but the way she looks, and I'm glad because she keeps posting how happy she is with him, how much she loves him. So I'm really pleased for her, you know, really pleased. It's always good when you see a good love story, and it's a true story. So yeah, always bear these things in mind. I think it's very difficult when you love someone so much and you're so worried about their welfare, their well-being, you care about them, you want to hear from them, you want to engage in conversation, and then just the other person doesn't reciprocate that. They basically have sexual attraction for you and that's it. They might like you in your personality bit, but they can take you or leave you. You're no big deal to them. You don't really matter to them that much. I think that's quite difficult. I think as an asexual person, when you're on the dating scene or looking to get into a relationship and you're having this type of reaction, these type of feedback, if you like, I just think it's quite difficult because it's like, oh, why can't they reciprocate? I find it hard that I just want like proper true love. To me, proper true love is like when you're a teenager and you're just sat there chatting for hours to your boyfriend or girlfriend, life partner, under the stars about the world, planet, and universe, and like nothing is off topic. Like nothing is off the table, I should say. You can just talk about anything and everything. You just watch the sunrise together and you just enjoy cuddling and kissing and being with each other. None of this sexual stuff. I'm really not into the sexual stuff. Like for me, the sexual stuff is like too much adult sex going on. There's not enough love in that. There's not enough cute and cuddliness in that. I don't know how to describe it, but I just think, like years ago, like maybe I have like a friend years ago, not a romantic partner, not a romantic friend, just a friend. And we'd hang out together and we'd eat like spaghetti shapes and stuff. This is going back to when I was a kid and haunted house spaghetti, which is quite interesting considering it's October when I'm recording this. And we used to like shout out the spaghetti shapes and stuff. And we used to just have fun and start laughing at the table and enjoying ourselves and being free in that way. So I just miss that type of thing. I just think that, why can't life be more kid-like, in relationships? Because when people start getting sexually attracted, they tend to lose their romantic side, I feel. They tend to like focus too much on the physical and not enough on the cute and cuddliness. And I like cute and cuddliness. And I really crave to be able to have like a proper decent relationship with a guy where he lives in my city, really. I really need a guy who lives in my city where I can actually spend quality time with him so we can actually plan dates and go out together to meet up for food or to meet up in the city or the cathedral or the quayside, and we can actually have quality time together. That I do miss that. I would like that, but being asexual who is sex repulsed, it's very difficult to get that, because they all want things to just lead to adult sex, if you know what I mean. I'm like, why? Why can't I just have this nice, cute, cuddly, beautiful relationship with a best friend ever guy who's the love of my life, soulmate, and who wants the same type of relationship as me, the cute, cuddly, fluffy type. Not that, oh, I must have sex type. It's just like, I feel it spoils it. I feel like it's more clinical and it's more adult and boring. It's like, I feel that it's more distant, whereas I feel that a proper true love relationship is based on bestest ever friendship where you hang out together and you just like love kissing and cuddling. You just like holding each other. You just like talking to each other on an intelligent level. You like exploring hobbies and interests. You take a deep interest in each other's lives, and like kind of messaging in the daytime, waiting to see each other at the next time. Like you might be seeing each other in a few days' time, and you're planning for that. When you like, if you had a neighbor or close neighbor, someone who lived nearby and you were hanging out with them as a kid. Do you remember that time and you were just like up till all hours? Like it was like 11 or 12 or whatever, and the time was flying by and you're just still chatting away, and you've not got that many cares in the world from that point of view. You're just into spending time with each other, into talking to each other, into being in the same space as each other, and you're just really loving that time together. And I want that type of thing in a romantic relationship. I'm like, why can't that happen? Why is it always on dating sites and dating apps? It's all about hooking up and sex and what people can get out of each other. And it's just like, where's real, true, affectionate love? People, where is the affection? Why is it just based on sexual and body parts and genitalia and crap like that? I just get so fed up with it. Absolutely fed up. Can you relate? Are you the type of asexual that understands what I'm talking about? Because I just get so fed up with it. I'm like, I just want proper true love, healthy love, pure love, not all this crap of avoiding conversations and looking at darkness. Like, there's so many things on dating sites and dating apps I just avoid. The guy's got dark humor. I'm like, no, I'm not wanting someone to come and put dark humor in my life. I know as an asexual person, you might have dark humor. So a lot of asexuals are like horror, for example, but I personally am not into that. I do not want someone to come and cast a shadow in my life. I want someone to make my life as happy as I make myself, or happier. I don't want darkness in my life. If anyone goes in a dating app, oh, I don't know what I want, that is useless because it's unintentional. It means they have no intention of actually having a serious committed relationship, right? Just see what happens. It's just no good. There's no intention there. This is not good, people. Oh, I'll be with anyone, to be honest. I'll try anything. Try anything once. I'm up for anything. Up for a laugh. It's like, you're just not taking a relationship seriously. All these type of things, if people write them in their dating bios, I just get fed up with them. I'm just like, no, 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 no. I'm not interested in a guy who doesn't know what he wants. TBH, to be honest. I'm not interested in a guy who wants casual relationships or hookups. I'm not interested in guys that go, I want a serious relationship, but I'm into hookups as well. Or I don't mind something casual or serious. It's like, really? Do you know what I mean? Like you don't mind a casual relationship or serious relationship. They're completely two different things. If you like both of them, I would seriously question the fact you don't want anything serious, because if you like casual as well as serious, like most people who are serious about relationships could not have a casual relationship for the fact of you they are serious. So you've got to look out for this type of thing on dating sites. Anything where that person's like, this is so boring. I don't know why I'm here. If someone doesn't know why they're on a dating app, again, you can't have a serious, committed, healthy love relationship with someone who doesn't know what the F they want. It's absolutely ludicrous. The amount of people. So on Badoo, I got a free premium access. I don't know how long I got it for, but it says if you want premium access, click on this. Otherwise, it'll go away within 2 hours. So I was able to see all my likes, but I had like over 500 of them, and I had to go through them all. I think it's over 500. It's definitely over 400. I think it was 500 and something last time I looked. And so it took me ages to go through them, but I was able to talk to some more people through doing that, through liking some back, but it took me a long time. But the amount of guys are like, I don't know what I want, to be honest. Let's just see how things go. I'm fine with anything. I don't care about any age. I mean, it's good that some guys don't care about any age, but it's like, some guys I feel that desperate, they'll just have anything or anyone. It's like, oh, I don't mind what I get, to be honest. It's like, what? Really? I got no standards. You know what I mean? I need a guy with standards. So just look at their profile and see what they're about. There was a guy who'd like me who's like, I like curvy girls with big tits. I'm like, oh my God, well, just spell it out in your profile. Why don't you? I thought, well, yeah, obviously I didn't like him back. It's just disgusting. But clearly he must have thought I fulfilled that criteria. There was some guys on there. There's one guy who said that he likes women over a certain age. I fitted into that category. He goes, "Oh, sorry, it's just the way I am." So it was nice to see some guys on there that liked older girls. There was one 20-year-old who's like, "Where is all the cougars?" Because they only like were interested in older women as well. But it's like, most people like older women, most guys like older women because they want to have sex with them. So it's very difficult when you're an asexual person who likes younger guys because they have sex in mind. Like there was a guy who was 24 who I was talking to, and then after a while he's like, "Oh, well, are you being serious when you say that you've not had sex with any of the guys in their 20s that you like dated?" He goes, "Because I find it hard." He said something like, "I don't." Basically, he didn't believe me that I hadn't had sex with all the guys I've dated in the past years that have been in their 20s. I'm like, because he said like younger guys have a higher sex drive, but I'm here to tell you that I'm in dating groups and not asexual dating groups, and guys in their 50s have a very high sex drive as well. So I don't actually think it's something unique to guys in their 20s. I know a lot of people say that stereotypically, but I find that all the guys in dating apps and dating sites, they're nearly all horny, and some of them are in their 50s, some of them are probably in their 60s. These guys, like a lot of them are in their 50s, like late 50s, like 57 and stuff like that. And these guys are really horny, they love sex. So I went in a group, an Asian group, right? Because I thought maybe it's a different type of like, because obviously I like Indian guys, which can be classed as Asian. But this is these groups are predominantly like guys from like China, or, like Chinese guys or Hong Kong or these type of places, right? And maybe some Filipino people. So anyway, I go in these groups and they're so sexual. Like I thought Indian guys were sexual, but when I come to the Filipino, like Hong Kong Chinese guys, I'm like, nearly all the posts in there are geared towards sexual memes, sexual biting, sexual connotations, sex. I'm like, please, like they stuff. Obviously, it's their group. It's not an asexual group. They can post what they like. I can't say anything because that's appropriate for a sexual group. Apparently, the admins obviously love that. But they'll post stuff like a picture of a cacti, which is in the shape of a dick and stuff like that, and say, "I love me some prick" and stuff like this. So it's just disgusting. And they'll talk about fluids and mouth jobs and all sorts of stuff and boobs. And I'm like, oh my God. So for me personally, as an asexual older girl that's into younger guys, it's really difficult. One is because I don't actually act my birth certificate age at all. And some guys expect an older woman to like be that age. And it's like, I'm nothing like that. So don't expect me to be like that and live like that, because that's just not me. It's not who I am. Some of the younger guys are too old for me because they got really old soul. Some guys who've got older soul are okay, or they would compliment me. Other guys are just way too old for me in their lifestyle and stuff. And then, most of the time it's difficult because I like younger guy to have a serious committed relationship with. And the guys who like me, we're talking 18 and upwards, like there's a lot of guys who are 23, which I like the age 23, but they're looking for hookups. It seems that all the women they speak to that are older is geared towards hooking up and having like meeting up for sex, basically. And I'm really not interested in that. Like, I want a younger guy for a serious committed relationship. And obviously, some people might say, well, why do you want a younger guy for that? Because younger guys don't know what they want. And yes, I agree that quite a lot of younger guys don't. But if you look at the spread of guys, for example, on Badoo, there's loads of guys in their 30s that still don't know what the hell they want. It's like, when does it ever end when the guys don't know what they want? Because a lot of guys, they still don't know what they want because that's why they're on frigging dating sites. They haven't made their mind up. And it's just like, please be intentional when you're dating. Please decide what you want, what type of relationship you want, your deal breakers, how you envisage that relationship to be. And like, what are the healthy ways that you want that relationship to be? I want you to visualize the healthy relationship, not the narcissistic relationship, not the abusive relationship, not the avoidant attachment relationship where you're just avoiding problems, avoiding issues, not owning up to your problems, not saying sorry. I mean, if you're not even going to be a person who says sorry, why bother being in a relationship? You need to admit when you've made mistakes. You need to stop hurting people and say sorry. I'm absolutely shocked at the guys that just come into my life. They hurt my feelings, so they don't even say sorry. I just think it's like, really? Are you seriously that bad a guy that you can't even, and that ego driven that you can't even pop in my inbox to just say I'm sorry and not have any more expectations? Do you know what I mean? And mean it, but clearly they're not, They clearly don't think the hurting my feelings is even warrants I'm really sorry I hurt your feelings. It's just like ridiculous. But clearly you can't have a healthy long-term relationship with these type of guys. You just can't. If any guy thinks they're never going to say sorry, I mean, I just wonder what went on in their childhood. Did their parents obviously didn't say sorry to them, I'm guessing, because that's why they've picked up the pattern and habit of thinking it's okay not to say sorry and okay to not be grateful for what you've got in your life and okay to like not have conversations that are hard. It's okay to just basically avoid, shut things out, switch your emotions off, repress the emotions and all this lot. But it's like the only way you break that habit and break that cycle and break that toxicity is by breaking it yourself and by vowing not to be like your family or caregivers or whoever was not good to you, members of your family or people. That's the only way you break the cycle, by realizing, God, this is toxic. I'm not going to be like this. Of course, you can overcompensate and then go the other way and say sorry about every single thing and be a people pleaser, which is not good either. So you have to watch out for that. But we have to be thinking seriously if we want relationships of any sort, friendship even, like what type of friendship do you want? Like what standards do you have for that friendship? What expectations do you have? And don't say you don't have any expectations, because even not having any expectations is an expectation, right? If you don't have any expectations and then people are like, well, I expect this, that, and the other, you'll be like, oh, well, I don't agree with that. Down the line, you'll be like, well, I don't agree with that. That's not what I'm like. So say someone expects you to take life seriously, but your personality is a person who's carefree, don't take life seriously. But you say to this person, I ain't got no expectations, and they expect you to be serious, and all of a sudden you're not serious, you're just being your, your jokey self, then it's gonna like cause rifts. It's like when you said that you don't have any expectation, you don't really care. So I want you to be serious, you know what I mean? Like, and you're like, but that's not who I am. So of course you have expectation. You have expectations that someone would accept your jokiness and be okay with it. Clearly, even though you're not saying you have expectations. If you don't have any expectations, how do you ever get along with anyone? How do you express yourself? How do you express your needs and what you want? How do you express like what matters to you in a relationship? Like in some ways it's good not to expect too much from another person so you don't get let down. I understand that. But if you don't have expectations in terms of standards for a relationship, like change the word to standards if you like, if you don't have any like roadmap of where you want to go, like you'll just be swimming around in the ocean, basically not getting anywhere with a person. I'm just shocked, but not really, I guess, at how many people are unintentional. They're unintentionally connecting with people. They're unintentionally dating. They like directionless. But that means either they're going to hide their true self with the person because they're going to try and be someone they're not to please them, people please them, or they're going to like come into that person's life and it's going to be like a sledgehammer when you're not expecting it. Because if they've been unintentional, but yet they're like, oh, but I'm actually like this and I'm actually like that and I'm actually like the other, you'll be like, oh, well, I didn't expect this. This is like a bombshell hit me. You know what I mean? So people should be dating intentionally. They should be having friendships intentionally. And they should be working out their attractions for different people. Like, am I sexually attracted to this person? Am I romantically attracted to this person? Am I aesthetically attracted to this person? You'll notice that attractions are very much not the same as love. Attractions are usually an intense feeling, often hormonal driven. They're a excitable feeling. They're a feeling of intensity, excitement, and kind of like things in the moment. Whereas a romantic attraction lingers longer. So romantic attraction can go on for quite a long time, right? But if someone's just sexually attracted to you, then it's like when you're in their presence, they'll feel like they want to be physical with you. They'll feel they want to have sex with you. It'll be very physically driven. Someone who's really romantically attracted, you'll be thinking, oh, I want to go and hold hands with this person, have picnics in the park with this person, talk under the moonlit stars, or go and do whatever you think's romantic with a person, hold hands, kiss and cuddle, see this future of probably like through rose tinted glasses, and they will be probably predicting the future with you. They'll probably be thinking about you in different scenarios that probably won't ever happen a lot of the time if you don't reciprocate, obviously. And that's very difficult. And aesthetic attraction is, I'd say, is more similar to sexual attraction in the sense that when you're aesthetically attracted to someone, there's a pull. There's a pull towards the look, there's a pull towards touching them, pull towards feeling them more, in my opinion, because it's like you look at something, so it's like two-dimensional. One is like you like the look of it, like a beautiful aesthetic painting. You want to see it, you're kind of mesmerized by it, you want to look at it more, you like the aesthetic, you want to touch it then and feel it more. So it's like twofold. One is like the look, as in the aesthetic. The other is you want to touch and feel that aesthetic, if that makes sense. So you've like got two components. One is the visual admiration and one is the physical touch, because you want to feel the thing that you like the look of. Does that make sense? And then the romantic attraction is when you wanted to do like romantic things, you kind of just play scenarios out in your head more. So always bear in mind all these different types of attractions. There are obviously other attractions as well, but it can make relationships and dating and even forming friendships complicated. So if someone likes you as a friend, you got to ask yourself, do they really like you as a friend? Normally, in the majority of cases, someone in a friendship only scenario, one would be more attracted to the person the other. So one might say, no, we're just friends, and the other actually is attracted to that person. Right? They might think, oh, this person just likes me as a friend. We're just friends. But usually one person in the friendship is attracted in some way more than friends to the other person. And just because you don't feel that attraction for them doesn't mean to say they don't feel that attraction for you. And this is obviously a difficulty with aromantic asexuals and romantic asexuals. If you're aromantic asexual or aromantic asexual and you lack romantic attraction, or absence of romantic attraction, you could unintentionally do behaviors or say things or give the impression to a romantic asexual that you might like them more than a friend, because you might be very over friendly. What a romantic person would think is over friendly. You might be like messaging them lots because friendship is really important to you. If you're an aromantic asexual, it's like you want to be best friends, and it's like you want the emotional closeness. You want that emotional stability. You want that emotional, I don't know, entanglement's the word, but emotional. You want to merge your emotions together with that person. You want to feel like your life's intertwined in a more emotional best friend type way, if you know what I mean. And that can be misconstrued as romantic feelings and feelings of attraction and wanting more than friendship. So I have in the past had conversations with aromantics, and they could go on for hours, talking about lots of different things, and they're very friendly and very approachable and very welcoming. And all that makes me have like feelings of some romance for them, usually an emotional connection. Because if someone's talking to me for hours and taking a deep interest, that's usually a sign of romantic love. And although the aromantic person isn't feeling that, they're just feeling, wow, I'm just hanging out with a friend. This is so cool. We're talking about hobbies and interests. It's really nice. This is like a really good feeling. The romantic person is like, oh, wow, this person's really into me, I think, because they can't stop talking to me about things we both love talking about. We're both so enthusiastic, and all this energy is like super romantic, and we're totally connected because we've been having this conversation like 4 hours now in text, and it's just feeling so good and feeling like we're super connected. And the super connection is making the romance feelings alive and flourish. So you can be two people who is experiencing completely different ways and feeling different types of attraction. It could be a platonic attraction or it could be a romantic attraction, but you both can be feeling completely different things about the same scenario. So you've got to watch out for that. Obviously, no one knows how they're feeling apart from the other person. But if you've got someone who's not contacting you much, They're only really that interested in you when it's physical, you're physically around them. They're not bothered about keeping in contact with you, text messaging or video or audio calling. They only want you when it suits them. This is not love. This is just attraction. A person who loves you will want to get to know you, be in your life, will want to know how you're doing, not just on occasion when they're physically able to be intimate with you, but when they're not around you, they'll be like, hey, I really miss you. I love you. I care about you. I want to see you. I want to spend time with you. What is a real cop out is if someone like starts saying, oh, I'd like to see you, and then just nothing happens. That can be really hard. I've had that happen to me, and it's tough. But then you just have to understand that if the person's doing that to you, then it's for your own best interest, because they're not that interested in you. Because if they were, they'd be making plans to see you. They'd be like, oh no, I really want to see this person now. It's been like, what, a few days since I last saw them. I want to spend some time with them, quality time. I want to have a good conversation. I want to enjoy that time with them. But, if they're not making any plans, maybe they don't even, if it's a friend, maybe they just want to see you like once a week or once every couple of weeks or a few times a month. But, they should still be making an effort if they, a friend who has more than just a basic level of friendship, who's someone who has a friendship love for you, for example. There's different degrees of friendship. One's like an acquaintance, one like you like to hang out with, another you like to spend time with because they're a good friend, and then like a best friend you might be messaging daily, seeing each other multiple times a month, that type of thing. So always bear in mind that a person who you're talking to may feel differently towards you than you do them, but also like take into account their body language, what they're saying, what they're doing. They say they want to see you, but they're not making plans. Then I question if they want to see you. You should say like, oh, hey, I know you said you want us to hang out together, like go for a walk together. Like, when were you thinking of doing that? If they're very vague and they don't come back with anything concrete, then again, it's not going to be a healthy relationship, because you're just going to be doing all the work. You can't have a healthy relationship where you're the one driving the relationship forward and doing most of the work. It doesn't work. It's impossible. So always look after yourself and your well-being and your health. Know the best relationship is with yourself, and value your own worth enough to walk away from people who are really no good for you, who want something different to what you want, and who don't genuinely care about you, because you're damn well worth being cared about. If you've had a bad past where people didn't really care and pay you much time, love, and attention, make sure you get someone this time who does do that. And if you find someone and you come across someone who gives you the qualities and things that you didn't have in childhood, and then you just neglect that person, and you in effect project what your parents did to you onto that new person, that's going to be your badge. So make sure you're not neglecting a new relationship or friendship just because you were neglected in childhood, for example. Think about how you felt. I see people who make the mistakes of, they had bad treatment in their childhood and they repeat that in their future relationships with other people and don't treat them well. I'm like, why would you do that if you knew what your parents were like, or your siblings or your caregivers were like, and they didn't treat you well? Like, why would you do that to someone else? But they do. Some do it intentionally, some do it unintentionally. So just watch it, and like, what's your behavior? Like, is it in the best interest of the other person, or is it you're doing something for your own selfish means and desires? Like, if you are doing something with someone and it's it's for your own desires to benefit you, and it's got no benefit for the other person, that means you're being selfish, and you're doing things just for your own means, right? There's got to be a benefit for that person as well. So always think about your own actions, what you're doing, what you're not doing, how you're feeling, how you're thinking, and be honest and upfront. Like, if I have feelings for my friends, which is quite often because I'm a hyper romantic, then I just tell them. Obviously, I don't need to keep telling them. If we decided we're not suitable for each other, I just move on, right? There's a friend I have, and he's into older women, but he likes grannies. I mean, much older people than me, It's like, I'm too young for him, and even other women that look the birth certificate age I am or older usually. Some of them are too young for him. But he wants a woman of my birth certificate age to like act like that, much older, like, and I'm not interested. So yeah, so always bear in mind that just because you're attracted to someone doesn't mean to say they'll be attracted to you back. But they could be attracted to you back, but in a different way, which can make things more complicated for you. So you want to be aiming for someone who has a similar type of attraction to you, the same type of attraction as you, who reciprocates the love or the romance. If you're sexually attracted and you need sexual attraction, then you need someone who's sexually attracted to you back, if you need sex. So think about what you really need, like be honest with yourself and be brave and just understand that not everyone thinks the same way as you do or feels the same way as you do. And monitor the situation, like think like when you come into contact with someone, like what am I feeling? I know in a nightclub a guy's sexually attracted to me, wants to snog me and touch my body at the same time, and really me to go back to his place and have sex with them. It's not going to happen with the sex bit, and I don't want him touching me all over my body, right? I'm very specific about where he can and can't touch. But that's what's going through a guy's mind, whereas I am experiencing romance and asexual, like, oh, I just want to kiss your soft lips. I just want to run my fingers through your hair. I just want to stroke your face. I want to love you so much. Usually it can start getting like love feelings if you're not careful, because it's like I really have a great type of nurturing about me where I want to nurture and kiss and cuddle. When the right guy finally comes along, for me, if he ever does, I'll be single forever if he doesn't. But if the right guy comes along for me, he's going to really appreciate all that love. He's going to be like, wow. Maybe like not, there's quite a lot of people that don't have great childhoods, and maybe he did lack love. And if he's actually done some work on himself and he's consciously aware of himself and he has someone who can love him so much and be happy to do that, then I think it would enhance his life. But what you need to do is you need to find someone for a relationship or friendship that's done some work on themselves if they've got past trauma, which the majority of people, if not all people in the world, have. So they've worked on their traumas to a certain extent and they are trying to become a healthier person. They don't have to be fully healed to have a relationship or friendship. You want someone who's aware that they're not perfect, aware they've got problems and issues that they've got to work through and working on. And you've got to find someone who wants what you want, who can give you the love, care, and the time and attention that you deserve, right? Who wants the same type of things as you, because that's going to just run so much more smoothly. It's a lot harder to get, I think, if you're asexual. And it's really difficult when you've got the contrast of sexual attraction versus love and emotional connection, sensual attraction, and all the other types of attractions, basically, romantic, aesthetic, So I would just say, like, make sure you feel the attraction that's right for you. Like, if you just think they're sexually attracted to you and that's all they're really bothered about, it's not going to work, is it? Because you need someone who genuinely cares about you as a person, who wants a relationship and to make it work. I was trying to say that I do have a lot of love to give the right person. And if you get a right, healthy person, then you can lean into that giving love mode. But if you've got the wrong person who takes advantage of that, it'll just feel like they're taking and you'll be bled empty of your energy. Do you see what I mean? So you want someone who appreciates the love you have to give them, who feels loved and cherished and adored by you, but also verbalizes, like, oh my gosh, I love being with you. I love the fact you love me so much. I love you too. And you feel love between each other and go from heart to heart, in a beautiful love cycle. Loving someone who doesn't love you back is just an awful feeling. It's like it's a dead end stone or something. It's really weird, but it does happen. It's part of life. So we just have to understand rejection's part of life. Moving on from one relationship or friendship to another is inevitable at some points in our life, and we just got to be grateful for the moment we live in, really, and try to get to understand ourselves better, our asexuality better, the different types of attractions, and what other people feel can be much different to how we feel. Hope you found this useful, helpful, insightful. If you have, please pop a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon and give this video a share. And any comments, queries, or questions, please post them below. And I'll see you soon in the next video live stream. Lots of love. Bye.